I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. This is Rob. Hi, Rob.
Yeah, man.
Down below is Costanza.
Yeah.
Bestman Bulletin.
For two
.org.
bits.
How's it going, guys?
I don't know if that's the song he played, but I just assumed it was.
Yeah. It didn't play in your ear holes when I just did it.
No, it's just
Weird.
silence.
Oh,
I'm still waiting for my Babu Frickers song, man. You know, these freaking
Rob,
frickers.
do you hear the song when I play the song?
Yeah.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, I hear it when you start and stop it 6 times, and you watch the little video. You go, "Come on, come on!"
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, everything log jams. But yeah. So there was a big Star Wars story last night, and it's this right here. Oh, look who's a new channel member, Chris Spreezy. Thank you, Chris, for being a channel member. And As a True, and David, and Rick Jones, and Timmy. I appreciate it, guys.
My little nephew looks like Timmy, and he owns it. Like he goes.
He does.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's super great. He's a super champ about it. Like I look like the Mad Magazine kid when I was his age. So I'm like, hey, I owned it. I went as Alfred P. Newman once for Halloween.
And thanks to everybody who subscribes to the show on Spotify and watches it there. That is appreciated. All right, so the big news last night, we had bad news earlier in the week, and then we got some new news. We'll talk about it if it's good or
This
bad.
was
Here in a
big
second.
news, but we didn't stop playing Fortnite for it. We just carried on.
No, we were like, you know what, Star Wars? Same shit, different day. That was the kind of the feeling at that moment, I think.
Before we get to this wonderful, wonderful, groundbreaking news of someone who's about to get fired from Star Wars 3 weeks from now, we got to have Azatur on so he can explain to me what the hell happened at that Unreal dev thing. I don't understand what they were announcing. It was 9 hours long of Unreal talk, and I don't know what they announced. It's the weirdest thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Azatur's always welcome on.
Yeah, Azatur, you should come on sometime and explain it to me because I'm confused.
Yeah, I felt bad. He did such a good job the other day, like presenting us all of the facts of that game. And I was just like, okay, so he was informing me. I was like making jokes, and I'm like, I hope I didn't come off rude because I really did appreciate it.
It sounded like me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I even said it. I'm like, wow,
that's why I felt like a shithead. I wonder what that means. No, I'm kidding. I
just feel bad because it came after. Like all that, it was such good conversation. We should have probably moved it a day and just put it at the front of the show because he's super informed,
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think there'll be more news, and then hopefully he comes back and waste his time with us.
You should cut out that bit and repost it so people just hear you making fun of him. All right,
cut out all the bits where he says like smart things, and it's just like him going like, there's this new armor. Oh man, that's like, and then me just bagging on it. So Air Force Jedi gave a $9.99 super chat. Thanks, man. I really, really appreciate that. And thank you. All right. So Damon Lindelof,
some money right in your face.
Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight to write the Star Wars movie Damon Lindelof exited. This is by Bespin Bulletin, who's on the show today. What? That's crazy. And you can, if you read Bespin Bulletin like me, you can support him on Ko-fi or Ko-fi or Knockout FI. I don't know what it's called. It sounds like
Mike Tyson's Ko-fi.
Yeah, but you could you can do that. I'm gonna do that today. Today I'm gonna support Bespin Bulletin. I'm gonna.
You don't need to. You're a friend. Friends don't need to.
No,
I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna shame these people.
That's what I do, Jason. I give you $5 every month, and I just go. I use it as. I hold that $5 right over your head.
Unlike Air Force Jedi, who supported me today, and I appreciate.
And on that note, thank you to Chris Breezy as well. He gave me like $3 or something last week, I think. So,
nice.
Spreezy money.
Stop
baby.
giving Santa money, and I should give it to Bespin. But I like making Santa read my stuff on his show, so it's tough.
Right,
it's tough.
Yeah, when Chris gave him the $3, he actually pulled the G string and put it in. I said, "No touching." Anyways,
like Al Bundy at the nudie bar, right? Like he
Yeah.
had like a fishing line and he was pulling it. Yeah.
StarWarsBegins.com. According to an exclusive report from Variety, the creator of the hit BBC series Peaky Blinders, Stephen Knight, has been hired to write the screenplay for the untitled Star Wars movie that Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson had been working on for over a year and exited last month after turning in a draft of the script as first reported by Above the Line. And that's what's his name, right? That's Homeboy.
Snyder, yeah.
The In Snyder. By the way, I gotta say, Above the Line is a great title, good title, but nothing is as good as the In Snyder when your name is Snyder. I would just use that on everything. All right. Anyways, Knight, as mentioned, is best known for his work on Peaky Blinders, but has a bevy of long form storytelling under his belt. With television series such as BBC's SAS Rogue Heroes, which I watched some of last night, by the way, which starred Jack O'Connell and Alfie Allen, Taboo, a limited series starring Tom Hardy, and
which
the
I saw. I like
TV series C,
I like
which I watched about 30 minutes of and was like, what the fuck is this?
I didn't see that.
In addition to being a decorated television producer, Knight also wrote recent movies such as Spencer, the Princess Diana biopic led by Kristen Stewart, along with Lockdown and Serenity, both of which star Anne Hathaway. Past film credits also include Lock, Closed Circuit, Dirty Pretty Things, and Eastern Promises, which I've seen.
Hold on. I haven't seen none of that shit, but I got to tell you, Bespin, you left out that this guy was one of the 3 co-creators of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
That's too much of a flex, Rob. You know, like it's too much of a flex.
In 1998, Bespin, he made that show in 1998.
I mean, it would have shamed Ahmed Best after his huge win yesterday, coming back into Star Wars in a really pivotal role. But he also hosted a Star Wars game show. But it wasn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, so that would have put him in his place.
It should have just been kids who have to run through like halls while they're being hunted down by stormtroopers. Not too far from actually attending public schools in the United States.
You know, and if you win, if you win, Ahmed Best will save you. If you don't, Ahmed Best will shun you. Knight currently has a packed schedule with multiple television and film projects in development, including a Peaky Blinders movie, and was recently linked with writing a script for Henry Cavill's Man of Steel sequel before the DC studios shook up. However,
I did not know that. Hold on, where did that info come from, Bespin?
I think it was the rap. I think they said Andy Muschietti was going to direct it as well.
Okay.
Oh, Umberto. Nice. I missed that one.
Umberto Gonzalez, snappy dresser. Snappy dresser, messy eater.
I'll say.
No, I'm kidding. He's not a messy eater.
No,
I'm just joking.
No,
however, I wouldn't.
It's not true.
That's not true.
No,
however, I wouldn't worry too much about the writer's schedule, as I'm sure the Star Wars project will become a top priority for Knight, given that Lucasfilm supposedly want to start shooting the movie in February, according to the initial Above the Line article. Knight will pick up where Damon Lindelof, Watchmen, and Justin Britt Gibson, Into the Badlands, left off in developing the untitled Star Wars movie set to be released December 19th, 2025. Though the original writers exited the project, Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy, Ms. Marvel, as people like to, I say Miss Marvel, and they're like, it's Ms. Marvel, remains on board the project as its director. Obaid Chinoy was reportedly brought on early in development to help shape the story and characters that Lindelof and Gibson had been working on, and it's likely she'll be working closely with Knight.
When they said February, they want to start in February, right?
Mm-hmm.
They mean 2024, not like last month, right?
No, next year, yeah. Next year. And like when I heard the Hell or High Water stuff, they were supposed to be filming it in the summer, so I'm guessing shit got pushed back a little bit, but they could still make the release date. They have to make the release date. I don't know if they're allowed to not make the release date. Anyways, the untitled Star Wars film was reportedly set sometime after the event of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, but the flick would not be part of the Skywalker saga. When Lindelof was attached, the project was being touted as a standalone project, but if successful, it could span a series of sequels. Given Lindelof's past work on multiple seasons spanning television series such as The Leftovers and Lost, he felt to be an ideal candidate to plan future installments following the initial film he was developing. Given Stephen Knight's past work, he too has much experience in long-form storytelling and can prove to be a suitable candidate to help shape the possible follow-up plans spawning from the 2025 Star Wars release.
Hold on. I want to.
Yeah.
Based on that paragraph, we got a break here. Right? I know people go, Rob interjects, but you could be reading this thing for 20 minutes. So
no, you literally wait till I get to the last thing and then you do that.
Yeah.
Like I got one sentence to go. One sentence.
When I
Rob.
say, I know.
One sentence.
I know. No. Okay, I know. Right at the end. Hold on. Yeah, I'm the guy that stops the microwave with 3 seconds to go.
All right.
And leaves
it.
Right?
Go ahead.
So when I say Lucasfilm is a weird company to me, right? Always has been.
Yeah,
let me give you an example.
Freaks.
They hire movie directors to direct TV shows and TV show directors to direct movies.
Yeah,
that is what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. It's weird to me.
It's your big break, kid. The Night Obeyed Chinoy Star Wars film is expected to be announced at the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase panel at Star Wars Celebration, which kicks off April 7th. In addition to the untitled film being formally announced, it's also rumored that a title for the project, along with a brief synopsis, will be revealed. So, yeah. So this guy right here, as Rob says, the next guy to be fired from Star Wars.
100%.
There he is. Look at that.
Look, 100%. The only reason why he has a chance of maybe not being fired is because he has that "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire" money sitting in that back pocket. He don't need his job. He don't care.
So you think he's just gonna like at a fiver on Kathy's desk? Here's $5. How about you shut up a little bit and let me keep the job? And she's like, I love $5.
Regis Philbin. He just leaves Regis Philbin ashes around the office. He's a weird dude. No, but it is one of those things where it's like, hey, we're making a standalone film that we think could go long form, so we hired someone who could do that. But then we have a TV show that should go long form, but we make them short form videos.
The question that I really have, like, based off of this guy's stuff, or as you look at his stuff thematically, his content is usually men that don't fit in society. That's his thematic jam. And then what happens when that societal friction occurs? Does that apply to the Star Wars film? Is it an entourage or you know what I mean, of misfits doing something? I don't know. It probably, but my whole thing is he revising what Lindelof started, or are they starting from scratch? That hasn't really come out in any of these pieces yet.
I think it's carry on from what Lindelof did. If they're gonna announce a synopsis at Celebration, then which is always the plan with Lindelof. I assume he's just picking the bones and, picking up the torch necessarily. But I don't see him doing the full from scratch original idea. It has to be working from what Lindelof already did. Like Lindelof worked on that movie for over a year.
But it could still be like the premise informed from writing Lindelof and then starting from bare bones from that. Still like kind of like what happened with episode 9. But it could be like literally revising Lindelof's actual draft. It could really start from there and be that. Thank you for the super chat, Tyler. I appreciate it, dude. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Anyways, it's also, it's completely like we're kind of in the dark where, like, did Lindelof only do the one draft? It kind of sounds like that's what the trades are implying.
Well, they just refer to it as a draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't give any additional context, so I don't know. But they were all shaping this out for over a year. Like the story group, his writers' room, if you want to call it that, they were all shaping this movie and like what could spawn from it. I assume they don't want to throw that out completely. So bringing in Knight, I assume he's just going to build off of that, and maybe give more to the vision that Lucasfilm want. Personally, I'm not a fan of his work from what I've seen. I'm not a fan of Taboo. I'm not a fan of Peaky Blinders. The recent movies I listed, I'm not a fan of those either. I can't speak to Eastern Promises, which Jason told me was good.
It's good. It's a good movie, but it doesn't shout give him a Star Wars either.
So I'm not thrilled about his hiring. I'm glad they've got somebody so fast after Lindelof's departure, as somebody with pedigree, it seems. But
Yeah.
again, just because I don't like this stuff doesn't mean I'm not hopeful that it'll be good, especially if it's being built off of what Lindelof and Lucasfilm were constructing for over a year.
Yeah,
well,
I watched.
given that he's primarily written for the BBC, he's not in the WGA, right? Like, so this could be like you strike proofing
So
script, right?
I yesterday when we were playing Fortnite, we were like kind of talking about that, and I was like, "Ooh, could that be it? Could it be that he's not in the Writers Guild and that's their way around it?" But when I went and so I couldn't find if he was in. I couldn't find a concrete answer. Is he a part of it? Is he a card-carrying member of the Writers Guild of America? But he's spoken there several times, which makes me think he is.
Yeah, he did one. He did a Q&A for Spencer, right, 2 years ago. I think it's the last thing we found.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it was like 2022-ish, I want to say. And yeah, so anyways, yeah, so he's in a workshop there as well. There was like a workshop. There was a during COVID, there was some kind of like speaking engagement, a virtual one. And so anyways, he got an award from them in the early 2000s, I think. So it makes me think he is a part of them. And if he's not, he's probably recently left, but I think he is probably with them. And I also think if you were to, he has his own company and he's kind of like doing his own thing over there in the UK. So there's always a chance he's just like, I don't care, I'll leave. And there's always a chance he's doing this because of that production company he started, that he wants to get money. But I don't know if Star Wars pays that much. But he's a big writer though. He's not a small writer. So I would imagine he is able to command top dollar. But at the same time, as we were joking, money is probably not really a big issue for the guy, considering his Who Wants to Be a Millionaire cash. I assume he got, unless he got ripped off from it. But last night I watched Rogue Heroes, and it's based off of a book. It's well written. It's really good. It's about basically the guys who go behind enemy lines and are saboteurs. They just cause trouble. And I like the spirit of it. It was fun. And it didn't like, wasn't the best thing I've ever seen or anything like that. And then I tried C, which as I was watching it, I was like, do you guys think he was the Peaky Blinders guy? And they're like, we want some of that Peaky Blinders, blind. And he's like, I got a C. I got a show called C. They can't see. They're blind, just like Peaky Blinders. And they're like, sold. But Peaky Blind, C was kind of
it's a tsunami of dad jokes right there.
Yeah,
Jason,
but I mean, it's silly. It's silly. I mean, it probably happened that way. That's the
punocalypse, right? Like,
thank you for the super chat, Nick. I appreciate it, dude. But yeah. So it's like I really don't know. I really don't know what to expect. I mean, his stuff is like the writing. My impression is this stuff is very involved, and Star Wars needs to be kind of streamlined and sort of dumb at times, and I'm curious just to see how this shakes out. Yeah, you guys get confused.
No, we could make a little less dumb Star Wars, I think.
The problem I have with Peaky Blinders specifically, is all the basic ass people in Britain love it. Like, I see people dressed up as Peaky Blinders. They have Peaky Blinders like parties, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, like we're cool," and then like, "Oh, you're a nerd." You're like, "That was mate. You dress up as a fucking Peaky Blinder. Like, you were a nerd as well." Like, it's just everything.
You should probably stay away from Star Wars Celebration. They just letting you know.
I think you should go dressed as a Peaky Blinder. Now that he's on, I think it's appropriate. Now I think you're allowed.
Yeah.
or a clone trooper with a Peaky Blinder hat. Just
the Blinder Bulletin. That'll be your new site. No,
yeah, it's
Peaky
Bestman Blinder. Peaky Bestman. That's a different thing. That's a thing I do on the
yeah, that's a.
But
that one has an arrest warrant. The guy out from the Acolyte set is chasing you down. So what are you looking at?
No, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this guy's work. Like Jason said, he couldn't really handle it. He couldn't finish it. It wasn't good. I thought the same. I really did try, just because I at the time had a new Apple TV Plus subscriptions. I was like, oh, let's just binge everything that's on there. And this one was a struggle for me. You know, it's
It's
Yeah.
not
hard
just
to say though. It's hard
Does it
to
get
say
better? It has
because
3 seasons. Like, that's usually a good sign, but maybe Apple just committed to it, you know, no matter what.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you just don't know. I mean, it depends on who that was for. It depends. I mean, like what the what the structure was behind the scenes. Like compromises have to be made, or I just don't know. What I look to anytime is like when it comes to someone a creative being announced for something wasn't so much what they did last, but it's like, have they ever made anything that you like? Because that's got to be a rarity given the unlimited amount of stories and video games and I hate to use the word content, but creative content out in the world. The fact that they've made anything that resonated with people on any level puts them in a cut above other folks. Unfortunately, a lot of times, people work on things and they never come out. I mean, it's most often said Hollywood's a place where movies don't get made because for every one movie, there's 1,000 movies that just sat in development limbo, and never saw the light of day. So
I hope
mean,
this happens. I hope this guy does a good job. I never want a Star Wars movie to fail. So I just don't like any of the content the guy's made so far. I know other people do. I know Rob mentioned he liked Taboo, right?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, but it's a better director than I thought they were going to get. I thought they were going to get an in-house Disney guy to do the job.
Yeah, I mean, if this was like the cat who wrote the Pinocchio Disney Plus movie, then I'm like, all right, well, here we go. But a 63-year-old, British writer who's done a variety of things, right? I mean, Locke was pretty good. That's 10 years ago, but that was pretty freaking dope too.
Yeah, like look what he has upcoming. Great Expectations, an untitled Star Wars film that is currently on. All We Continue Light, Ferrari, The Veil, at the Thousand Those Maria this time. This guy is writing a lot of stuff. Maybe he's already written.
But remember,
all.
they also got the Downton Abbey dude back on Rise of Skywalker, and that didn't go well for him either, right? So
what? Downton Abbey guy?
Downton Abbey.
She's about Jack Thorne.
Jack Thorne.
Oh yeah, well, Jack Thorne though. He had a bad time. Like I said, he had a
That's
bad
what
time.
I'm.
This guy can also have a bad time.
Like...
Yeah.
This guy might not make it a celebration.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Over under. This guy makes it to celebration.
Ooh. Well, like I was saying, look at Rogue One, and that was just a one-off, and it took at least 4 writers. I know of 4. I don't know if there might have been more. But there was at least 4 writers on Rogue One, and this one, it needs to spawn a series, they're hoping. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. I mean, I don't even mean this like in a facetious way. I don't even mean this as a bad thing. He just really may not be the final writer on this, because that's the way that this kind of project is likely to go.
Plus, on Rogue One, Tony Gilroy is a writer, so getting a cat who can write professionally and has been paid to write professionally as a director helps solve story problems you might have on set and in the editing room. So you're getting like you're getting a double job, right? A double bonus job. This director, like, she's done some really good documentary stuff and the Ms. Marvel stuff, which I don't know, it's hit or miss for some folks. It's the force of will in the pre and post with directors that I'm just like, can this person, this person's got a huge challenge ahead of her, in terms of seeing this film through to completion. Not saying she can't do it. Not saying that. I'm just saying very difficult, especially if you're not a writer. Huh?
It's worth mentioning as well, Jason brought up if this guy's part of the WGA, which he is. That writer strike coming in 2 months, less than 2 months. Depending on how long that goes on, this guy will have a race against time if he wants to get this script in a position to be shooting by February. We don't want a JJ situation where, and again, I don't fully blame him for this problem, but he had to deliver a script within like 6 or 7 months. He had a short time to develop that movie. You can tell on screen and, wherever, but I hope that doesn't happen with this guy or anybody else. Even if this guy leaves, whoever replaces him, I don't want that to be a problem for them. So it's worth keeping an eye on. And like I said, I hope they've kept enough of Lindelof's work, so it's not as much work for this guy to do. Because Lucasfilm do seem committed to getting a movie out for 2025. You know, I think if this was a year ago, they would just shelve this project and like, okay, we'll find something else to do. You know, but they seem committed.
Yeah, the source that I spoke to about the project a while ago was like we have to do it. Like Disney is requiring that this happen. Like it's hell or high water. A movie's coming out, and if it doesn't come together, we're just going to put out a bad movie. so that was
Well,
like
that's where
that was the takeaway. I don't, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad movie because remember, like people act like it's coming out tomorrow. This shit's not coming out until 2025 at like the last fucking 2 weeks of the year. Like it's almost a 2026 film.
right, and that's where the director coming from documentaries will help in terms of the editing bay.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sally Mankey, she edited all of Tarantino's films from Pulp Fiction up, and she actually did editing on the first Turtles film, which
Oh,
like,
really?
man, that movie was pretty good. Yeah, because Sally Mankey fucking was the editor on that film. But she came from documentary work primarily, and she spoke. I saw her a few times at the LA Film School, and she would talk about how important that was, in any film coming from documentary, because you have to learn to craft narrative from nothing, and sometimes you got things that, I mean, Quentin's great at writing things that he wants, but a lot of times you don't. Like the Turtles, they just got a dump load of shit handed on her. She's like, make sense out of this. So, coming from documentary, that's the part that I'm more excited about with the director than the Marvel equation.
And again, with the Marvel equation, she did like I think a couple episodes, maybe even just one. And as we all know with TV shows, it's the showrunner that really is the one that dictates those. So, and Rob mentioned the Turtles. This is off topic, but did you see they announced a game based on The Last Ronin today?
Yeah, they announced a AAA third character, like a God of War style,
Yeah,
with The Last Ronin. Jason doesn't know The Last Ronin story, I think, but pretty cool stuff.
yeah.
Right.
Does that excite you, Rob?
Depends on how it looks. I mean, I hope they incorporate some of Kevin Eastman. The thing with that book is Kevin Eastman. I wish Kevin Eastman had just drawn it himself, because I just like his artwork, and I think if he crafted a Dark Knight Returns style turtle story, the last turtle story, and I think that book would not have taken as long to come out if he had just done it. So I hope that they work some of his art style into the game, kind of thing. But we'll just see when it comes out. I have a funny feeling though it'll look more realistic than artistic.
I do too.
When they say AAA, I assume Unreal Engine 5, realistic textures. So we'll see.
Fandom Empire asks, so are we getting a darker tone Star Wars movie? If it ever comes out, laugh out loud. Lindelof and Knight are both known for more serious tone scripts that are grounded, and Rob 3 weeks is generous. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that if this means it's going to be a darker, more serious kind of take? Because like when I was watching Rogue Heroes last night, there is sort of like it is like a serious thing. I hate the 80s music that plays in it, by the way. It's like a World War II story with 80s music at times. I had Willow flashbacks and I wasn't happy about it. But it was like everybody was sort of sarcastic and a bit like facetious. So it's like I could definitely see that what he did there falling into the Star Wars formula or format pretty well. So I don't know. Do you think it's gonna be more serious? Is that your what's your vibe on it based off of what we know so far between Lindelof and Knight now writing it?
I don't think so. Like, also got to remember Lindelof wrote Tomorrowland and Cowboys and Aliens, or partly wrote that movie anyway. I don't think so. I don't think this means anything. Knight was also supposed to do a Man of Steel sequel, which wasn't going to be in the direction of, what Zack Snyder was doing over there. So, yeah, I don't think so. I think this guy probably is versatile. I don't think just because he's done Peaky Blinders and Locke and whatever, it doesn't need to be a dark or gritty story. I think that, it's got to be accessible. This is the first movie they brought out at that time in, 6 years? So it needs to appeal to people of all ages. You know, it can't be Andor, but just on the big screen.
Yeah.
They need this to be successful and to launch a new saga.
That's where my head is at too. Is it needs to be a popcorn movie at the end of the day.
Well, I think the clue for that is when they said it's a standalone film that could go. They're gonna leave it on a happy ending. You know, I mean, even though Rogue One ended with everyone dying, it doesn't really. It leaves with, you know, Princess Leia escaping and basically you jumping right into the happy movie, which is A New Hope. Like it ended with the sequel already made, one in the can. You know, so
right.
even then that doesn't really. So I don't see them doing like an Empire Strikes Back where, you know, it leaves off on this dark ending where everyone's misguided or scattered across, you know, kind of deal.
Right. Jonesy Q2 says or asks or says, yeah, production window between 2023 to 2024. Scared of this going to be rushed. And then goes on to say, the Ahsoka series is expected to be released in August, September. Good strategy for Disney Lucasfilm. First Haunted Mansion is released, then Loki 2, then Ahsoka can take the throne. But do you guys think
rushed? Everything's
no,
rushed in Hollywood. But
no,
the
I
minute,
mean
the minute a check is cut and production starts, you never have enough time. You're just racing against a window, whether that window's 4 years or 1 year. Aliens 2 was made in under a year. You know, even if they had, oh, we're going to start now, but it's going to come out in 2027, then you'd say that's taking too long. Like, what is the just right? What is the Goldilocks window for you when they say they're starting something to completing it? Because it's never enough time, whether you think so or not. Like, think about your taxes. You have all year to work on your taxes, but is it never enough? April 15th comes around. Was that enough time, Jason? You know,
this was okay. It was okay. I already did mine. But what do you call it? It doesn't. It really just depends on what kind of movie it is. It depends on what the movie is. It depends on what level of acting we're talking about here, too. I mean, I don't think this is going to be an Andor style show or movie, so I don't know if we're going to need all of the subtleties just to be there, or if this is going to be like monomyth tale where just get up and go and yay, it's fun. My aunt and uncle died, but now I'm over it. 2 seconds later, let's get on with life. It does it have what's the level of visual effects? How much spectacle is there in this one?
Well,
and
it can't
stuff
be
like
more than
that.
a 6-month shoot, though, Jason. So if they're shooting in February 2024 and it don't come out till December 2025, that's still, oh man, that's a year, almost 2 years of post production. You know, pre and post, right?
Right.
So
Similar
like,
to
this is a
Last
ton
Jedi,
of time,
right?
to be honest. Like, to be honest with you, like by their standards.
The actual like filming windows for these things is usually really about 6 months.
Lucas started writing The Phantom Menace in 1994 because it's written on a yellow piece of paper in his notepad in the documentary. He goes to film in 97 and it comes out in 99. You know, like that 3 years of writing a script that wasn't complete. I'm being facetious.
No, it
so
was
3 years of writing a script on notepads, and then once he actually starts filming, that's a 2-year window. So that's the exact same.
Yeah, he
Again,
usually took 3 years in total. 1 year, 1 year to actually write. When he started in 94, he was shit kicking around. It's like a year to write, and then it's
I'm
like
being facetious.
Yeah, a year, the year where they film, and then the post production. So it usually is like a 3-year endeavor. Like Lucasfilm was bought by Disney in 2012, and then production on that movie was really, because of all of the hiccups and the changes and stuff, was usually about 2 years per movie on the last ones, like in the end.
Yeah. And
on
again,
average.
we've already had years worth of work put into this with Lindelof and Justin. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, the only concern I have is how long the writer strike lasts. For this guy to churn out what he can. And yeah, I think the post production thing as well is fairly similar to the Last Jedi's post production. If it goes well, if the shoot goes well, there's more than enough time for the visual effects and post production, and even if they need reshoots. But yeah, I'm not too concerned. The only concern is this guy getting fired.
Yeah, and also, like, just gonna throw it out there. not to call anyone a scab, but there's always a chance that if they're not supposed to write, and he just fucking does, and he acts like he doesn't, and then the writer's strike lifts, and it's like, well, here I go. I just got started. Here I'm ready. You know what I mean? There's always a chance that happens. It does sound like it's pretty frowned upon, but it does sound like people kind of write during strikes, and with it not, if he's not doing the first draft, it's pretty good cover. You know, yeah, I needed a month to polish what they did. You know, but obviously that won't be the final draft, anyways. Though, like they'll probably be revising up until filming, and then even during filming, there'll probably be an on-set writer for that. It could be him, but it could be somebody else, and yeah, they'll just take it from there. So I wouldn't be too worried about it being rushed at this point. This isn't the kind of situation where, you know, they're like behind schedule and they fired everybody and started from scratch. So if that's not the case, if it's not a from scratch kind of thing, but the only caveat that I would add to like what people are saying, which I think they're probably correct, but they're saying that there's going to be a title and a synopsis given at Celebration. But you know, that synopsis could be so fucking bland. It could be so blank when you think about like it could be so general. Like we'll have to see. And I think like if it is really general, then it might say that they don't want to say too much because they don't know what's going to happen yet. They don't know what it's actually going to be. But I would imagine that they do, but there's just always the possibilities. All I'm saying. And then Jonesy mentions the Ahsoka series, and was there something in the trades today that you were mentioning earlier today about Marvel shows?
Yeah, I told you before, like I speak to like Marvel people and whatnot, and they told me a while ago that even though the trades are reporting there's only going to be two Marvel shows coming out this year in a Secret Invasion and Loki season 2, he said they were determined to get a third. And then Variety mentioned there being plans for a third series now this year. And I think Variety are the ones who said initially that it was going to be 2 after they delayed a lot of the slate. Yeah, it's looking like they're going to get a third in there. It looks like it's going to be Echo, if anything. So yeah, Secret Invasion is supposedly being delayed till June. That probably does impact Loki's release date, which I think we heard was like around July, August. So that could also impact Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew and wherever else.
So do you think it would push Skeleton Crew into next year?
I would hope not, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. Chris Brucey says, "Do you think we will see Jedi in the 2025 film?" I have my doubts. Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah. On the on a series, you could go play with that idea. What happens when you can't have a Jedi? What like what happens when the Mandalorians can't use their rocket packs? We got an episode, but the film stuff, man, there's even money on the table if they won't mess with Jedi. You know, I mean, there's always a chance it's like an emerging Jedi story, like what they did with Force Awakens, where you're like, oh, there really is no Jedi. What? It's her. You know, at the end, it's very obvious, but it might be like that for the first one. But if it's something that like I don't know, it just based off of like having watched that show last night, my head keeps going towards it's going to be an ensemble piece of people doing something like a heist, or it could be a war, but something like that. And we're gonna have a bunch of characters who don't die. They're not going to kill them all. You know,
we know as well that from Jeff Snyder, they did have like two leads in this film, one male, one female. So
yeah,
chances are they'll stay in the script. They might change their stories or whatnot, but and whoever the actors were that Snyder said was attached, they might not be attached anymore, given that the production was supposed to be the summer, so now February, and all their schedules, they might not allow it anymore.
Yeah, but the I mean, depending on who it is and how it classically goes, if just forgetting what anybody said about any casting stuff in general, just to go like how it usually goes, it's like if it's a Daisy Ridley and John Boyega type, for instance, their schedules aren't too busy yet. not too full
Yeah.
yet. And they like the one thing I thought was interesting about the rumors that were going around about who was cast in that is that they were generally like people like in their like 30s and 40s, whereas I sort of just feel like I wouldn't be. I mean, and that might be like a real venerable like leader of the pack kind of character or something that was cast, for instance. But usually, like they want to cast really young people, especially when it's a series that might go on for years. You know, you don't want to. You know, you want to get that you're if you're able to get your Robert Downey Jr. when he's young, that's great, as opposed to getting somebody who might be on the tail end of their career, depending on what the role is. But when we're talking like the lead, they've classically gone for somebody around 20 years old. I mean, just looking at all of the Star Wars films we've ever had, that's usually about around where it's usually at. But will this be different? Because the Marvel films don't really do that. And it is kind of more of a Marvel era. I don't know. The way that Hollywood is set up is like that. So anyways, Chris, back to your thing. I think you're going to see Jedi Man. I would expect that you'll have Jedi as opposed to not. And Dale thinks you're going to see a Jedi at the end. He says, I don't know where Dale got that, but Dale says that. So there you go. All right, let's go on to should we go on to a different story now? Should we go on to the next one? This is from yesterday. I put this up. HBO's House of the Dragon director Jita Vasant Patel directed Star Wars Ahsoka. Last night on The Mandalorian, which is 2 nights ago now, a dragon was stealing children. The Mandos defeated the mama dragon and took the baby dragons to raise as mounts. My buddy texted me and said, it's like Fav watched House of the Dragon and thought, that's cool, I'll have that. And little did my friend know, Lucasfilm was essentially thinking the same thing. HBO's House of the Dragon director Patel directed an episode of the first season of Star Wars Ahsoka for Disney+. Most streaming TV viewers would know her work from the 8th episode of House of the Dragon, where the 6-year time jump occurs after some lady's death, Lady Leanna's death. Patel masterfully handled efficiently explaining the new landscape to the show's viewers. The heavy lifting, and Patel pulled it off well. Now Patel will bring her directorial skills to the first season of Star Wars Ahsoka. And for the record,
no one wrote that episode, Jason. It was just directed.
Fuck you, Rob. Fuck you.
I think Fab watches House of Dragons and goes, I need the directors, not the writers. Like, you know what I mean? I need someone who can figure out my bullshit. Like
no, Filoni's like, I wrote this shit. I wrote this shit. I got it.
6-year time jump confirmed, season 4.
Well, here we go. It will be notable that Star Wars Ahsoka will have a mid-season time jump. It's not clear if that had any influence on why Patel was brought aboard to direct on Ahsoka, but I see it as a positive gain for the show's narrative flow if it is handled half as well as her HBO series was. Without jumping the gun too much, I believe the epilogue to Star Wars Rebels takes place in the middle of the Star Wars Ahsoka's timeline, with the show essentially having 2 4-part stories. So either episode 4 has the Rebels epilogue at the very end, or episode 5 begins with the epilogue from Star Wars Rebels. You know, the moment where Ahsoka is dressed in white and Sabine joins her on a quest to find Ezra Bridger once Sabine has done a rad mural and got her post-war life together.
Never saw it.
For the record, I don't have much to add to this, and I didn't really put it in here too much. I kind of implied it. But it sounds like Sabine just has some issues that need to be like dealt with in the first 4. So I don't think she's necessarily like, hey, I'm ready to go and adventure with you at this moment. I'm not saying she's like necessarily even like a reluctant hero. I don't. It's just there's a problem. Anyways, several sources have confirmed this report over the last few months. My half sister, Bestman Bulletin, was also able to independently confirm this report as well. The report comes with pretty high confidence. And then Lucasfilm is doing a great job with their director hires at the moment. One Take News accurately reported that the Daniels, who directed the excellent Everything Everywhere All at Once, had come aboard Star Wars Skeleton Crew to direct an episode of the Mandalorian spinoff series. Daniel Kwan Daniel Schreiner would go on to win the Oscar for Best Picture, Director, and Screenplay, and the film won a bunch more. And I say, with some recent bad news on the film front, which is Lindelof, the future of Star Wars television looks bright. The talent involved are stellar filmmakers. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next round of Star Wars shows has to offer. I'll have more details on the prediction of Star Wars Ahsoka soon, so check back and make sure you're watching the Making Star Wars show on YouTube and Spotify. Okay. So
Not gonna lie, Jason. The first time I saw Return of the Jedi, I thought Vader had said "your Sithster." I was like, "What did he say, Sithster? Like, what was that?"
Sister.
Like,
Oh,
so
I
it's like when
didn't
he
even
said when he called Bespin your sister, I was like, "It's a Sithster,
sister.
Sithster."
I wasn't showing the
Yeah.
article the whole time. Sorry, guys. So, anyways,
Okay.
here you can look at it with your own little peepers if you want to. But yeah,
Peaky Blinders.
the truth is, Rob. Why? I mean, it was I had to really find an angle to write this article because the amount of I've seen House of Dragons and it's like cool. It was good episode. It was well done. And then there was some like documentaries that like about the Patel family that she co-directed and stuff. But it really wasn't like an angle of where I could go like, yeah, like here we go. This is a Star Wars director other than the Game of Thrones thing. And I'm like, what's the connection? And the connection is lots of women and lots of time
Also,
jump. You know,
the connections also. She did a lot of Netflix stuff. She did a lot,
right.
a lot of Netflix TV, which is, it's becoming common practice over there in Lucasfilm at the moment. They keep hiring people who've worked on various Netflix shows for the television series. We had, was it 2 recently for The Acolyte?
Yeah, and we
So,
had the actual VP of live action
mm,
was a Netflix Stranger Things person.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that's where all this is coming from, bringing in, people she's worked with at Netflix, talented directors like Patel definitely is. So I think it's a good hire. I think it's a good fit for Star Wars. She can handle a big franchise, which is good. But yeah, it's more exciting than hearing like Carl Weathers is directing an episode. No,
Hey.
He did a good
no,
job, but I know what you mean.
he did a
Though
good job. Yeah, like
yeah,
this. More,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with like when you see the Skeleton Crew directors and John Watts and the Daniels, it just adds more like gravitas to that series, I
yeah.
suppose. I'm already far more excited about seeing the Ahsoka and the Skeleton Crew directors in action than I was when I saw the list for the Mandalorian season 3. I've jumped a few years, but other than Lee Isaac Chung, who's like I really like Minari. I think he's really talented, but yeah, and he did the Pershing episode, right? So yeah,
Oh, we're gonna let a little Salacious Crumb direct an episode of Ahsoka, Jason. I just want you to know that. We're gonna let him do it.
Hey, you're the boss, applesauce.
Oh,
You know?
ooh, I'm gonna get that shirt right now. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean that's like on like Skeleton Crew. The Daniels is rad. I mean, like we heard about how bad the production was, how bad of a time people were having, and they start to go like, oh man, I hope it doesn't bleed through into the performances and into the feeling of the show. I mean, but then when you hear about like who's involved with doing the show, I mean that's more confident. I have more confidence in it, hearing like that those people that are like they're having a moment, they're kind of on fire right now, and it's encouraging. And then when we see somebody who handled Game of Thrones, which has way more moving parts than your average like general, like I would think Ahsoka Star Wars story probably. It makes me think, oh, that person could definitely probably handle this like just fine. And Game of Thrones or House of Dragon also has some pretty good visuals as well. Like
and he used the volume.
and use the volume. Yeah.
Uh,
No, it looks great. You should watch House of Dragons. It looks fucking
I
fantastic.
have seen House of Dragon. I watched
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. The volume and the work in the show is not bad. I wouldn't.
No,
Are
I'm
you?
just complaining about the volume like everyone else does.
Okay. Yeah. No, I prefer the use of the volume and usually in House most of the time in House of Dragons over like some of the Star Wars shows we had. It's sometimes it's a little bit better at times, but anyways, it's yeah, like I said, it's all encouraging. I don't really have a lot to add on that other than there's another director for Star Wars Ahsoka.
That makes 4 now, right?
Yeah, who do you remember? Do you know who the other 3 are off the top of your head? There's Filoni, obviously.
Yeah, it's Filoni, Patel, Peter Ramsey, who did Into the Spider-Verse, and Steph Green, who did Boba Fett.
Right.
Episode 2.
It's a good episode.
The training.
It's a good episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this article is from BespinBulletin.com. Let me close this right here. Hey, get out of here. There we go. All right, you guys can see this one. Respawn's single-player FPS video game is inspired by Dark Forces and Jedi Knight, Dark Forces DOS. So, and you could give Bespin a coffee, unless you're a piece of shit, you know. All right, in January of last
Doom
year.
engine. You know, I really do. Go back to the Doom engine. Just let's do it.
Hey, you guys got any wads? Can you guys give me some wads so I could get some new levels?
Hey! I download my first Cloud City wad with a little lightsaber, replacement for the blaster in 1995. Shut your mouth. Wad files.
In January of last year, Respawn Entertainment, the studio behind Star Wars Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, announced they were developing multiple Star Wars video games, with one being a single-player first-person shooter. The news delighted fans, as the studio has had much success with FPS titles in the past, including the severely underrated Titanfall 2, along with the successful Battle Royale Apex Legends, with many at the studio also having previously worked on the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. There's been little news on the upcoming title since the announcement last year, but now job listings may have given us an exciting update. According to recent job listings posted on LinkedIn, Respawn's Seattle-based studio are looking to fill various positions, including a cinematic lead lighting artist, and a lead mission designer. Each listing features the same description, offering prospective hires an insight into the Star Wars FPS. Inspired by classic titles like Dark Forces and Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2, our story-driven single-player game is being developed from the ground up, leveraging the power of Unreal Engine 5. Dark Forces and Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2 are considered classic Star Wars video games by fucking nerds. Dark Forces released in 1995 and introduced the fan favorite character Kyle Katarn as the game's lead.
It's Kyle Katarn.
Kyle Katarn.
That's what we doing. Yeah,
Katarn it. Make a new game.
Bo Katarn it.
Dark Forces primarily focused on combat against creatures and enemies from the Star Wars universe, along with environmental puzzles and hazards, and was often compared to the Doom franchise, which had wads. Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, released in 1997, and saw improvements on its predecessor, introducing branching story paths, cutscenes with live-action actors, along with lightsaber and force combat. It is also mentioned...
You think, Jason, you think Kyle Katarn boned Mon Mothma? Like, if you look at those cutscenes in the first Dark Forces game, I think there's a little something going on there.
No, he's like 5 years old now. Remember? Kenobi?
No, I'm saying like during Dark Forces. Like,
no, it turns out that never happened. It was just his fan fiction. He just wrote that. He was only 5. He's on the path, bro. Watch Kenobi. It's your favorite show. It's also mentioned in the job listings that the untitled FPS will be developed using Unreal Engine 5, which isn't much of a surprise considering Star Wars Jedi Survivor, along with Jedi Fallen Order, of use of the Unreal Engine 4. Respawn
30 frames per second confirmed.
All right. Respawn have also chosen, I mean, it's Doom, right?
It's Unreal
Respawn
5.
have also chosen to not use the Frostbite engine, which was created for their parent company EA, with Respawn previously using the Source engine on both Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends. I'm sure Respawn's project, being inspired by the Dark Forces series, will excite fans new and old, given the fast-paced nature of the Doom franchise, in which Dark Forces took inspiration from. It fits well with Respawn's past work on Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends. Personally, I can't wait to learn more about the project, and I hope we get to see something from the game sooner rather than later, as this is easily one of the most anticipated video games. And then you can follow the Bob podcast and hear what Bestman has to say when he's not on this show. So, does that mean this shit's really, really far away?
Rob is the best person to ask for this, right?
Yeah, it's really, really far away.
It's really, really
You're
far
3
away.
years out from this game.
Yeah.
You're 3 years out from this game.
Because we heard of this game a while ago, right? So it really sounds like
we heard that they were going to do something a while ago, which means they made a pitch, or you know what I mean, like that. But now that it's production, mission design, Unreal 5 still not optimized. I love the look of it too, you know, but I have friends who teach this software, and they were super positive on it, and in the last couple months have been increasingly critical of Epic's support or lack of support for real optimization and usefulness of the guts and of that engine, which is why I was very confused by yesterday's Unreal presentation, because it's a lot of look at all these features you could do, and I'm like, yeah, but at what, 20 frames per second? Like, I don't understand. Like, when you add in AI, sound, all this other stuff, it's very difficult to gauge how well it's going to do. And if you've ever played an Unreal game on PC, you'll know how unoptimized even Unreal 4 is. You know.
So Rob, when you're in a room and they say it, you go Unreal. They're like, wait, are you talking about the engine?
Yeah, but I do it like Al Bundy. Go Unreal.
Unreal.
Is that why you were just laughing to yourself? You came up with that little joke and wanted to say it. That's why you're just giggling to yourself.
Yeah.
Such a child, man.
Yeah, I am. I'm a man. I'm a giant man, baby.
Look, Jason, he has a Willow poster. What do you think? Jason,
signed by Warwick Davis. What? He's an Elwyn.
Show us your action figure.
He's a big dick Elwyn. What do you want?
I believe it. I believe it. But I mean, look, Respawn. The thing, though, I will say is Respawn. Their tech is second to none, dude. They remind me of like old Naughty Dog. They could do a lot with so little. They can take scraps and like Tony Stark. They could take scraps and turn it into an Iron Man armor. So if anyone can get the Unreal Engine 5 really, really working in a productive manner, okay, within, I mean, it could be 2 years away, but if I had to guess, I would say 3. Which is why when folks are like aching for a new console, we're gonna get a new console. You're not getting no new consoles. You're 7 years away from them announcing a new console, and that's just based on economics, and I'm not even getting into the lack of neon or Xeon or every other fucking material on the planet that seems disappearing daily, which most gamers don't know about. So
we're
but
it's gonna get in the way of the
cool
singularity, and it's pissing me off.
Because what we are, I think, what the cool part about this news is that you're seeing the turn away from live services and into single player games theoretically, right?
Yeah, sounds dumb to me.
Nope.
As it true says, how to upset millions of people equals story-driven single player.
No.
You're just being selfish, Rob. You're just being selfish.
That's how you future-proof your game. It doesn't disappear because they decided to stop supporting it online and all your shit disappears.
You can do
That's
both.
how you could still play games that came out in 1995 and 1996, and you could still buy them and still own them and still play them because they aren't dependent upon some weird internet ecosystem. You imagine if Dark Forces and Jedi Knight 2 were dependent upon AOL working?
You could go Star Wars Galaxies. Star Wars Galaxies you could go play it right now.
True. As you remember GameFly servers, I'm willing to bet you don't. So this is ridiculous. Live services are dropping like flies for a good reason. It's just ridiculous.
Well,
it's
not everything deserves to be.
Suck.
Not everything deserves to be a live service. I mean, that is true, and everybody wants one because they can be a cash cow. But yeah, like not everything is Fortnite, not everything is GTA, but GTA and Fortnite fucking thriving, and it's good.
And we haven't been able to get a real GTA game because of it, Jason.
Yeah. I understand Azur's frustration that there is obviously a gap in the market for a Star Wars multiplayer game, but a lot of fans. You don't think so? You don't think
there's 2 Battlefronts? You've been getting nothing but Star Wars multiplayer games.
Rob, and they stopped supporting them like 2 years ago now.
You're getting Jedi Hunters or Bounty Hunters game soon, right? Ain't you getting that? Ain't you happy? Why are you laughing? You're getting it. It's multiplayer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I prefer single player games. Like, I may play Fortnite with Jason every day, but generally I prefer single player games. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be cool to have a Battlefront-esque game. to mix in with this. I'm not saying there needs to be this, and I'm very excited for whatever Respawn do, especially with taking inspiration from Dark Forces and the work they've done on the Fallen Order game.
You know what's killed Halo? Trying to make it more open multiplayer, trying to make it bigger, making Halo a single player, essential single player game with co-op. And
I don't know. I think I played a lot more
side
multiplayer Halo throughout my life than single player Halo.
And it's failing. It keeps failing. Well, it's
because
we haven't had a true single player game since 2007 or 8, dude. Like, it's ridiculous.
The difference is, like, when you're making fucking sword man horseback guy, he doesn't have a community with it. Star Wars comes with a whole social ecosphere that's like, yeah, we want to go play together.
Well, you ain't getting it. I'm getting my game. Like, so if you want to know what game I'm buying, this is the one. Fuck you.
And that's where it's stupid, because they're like literally saying, give us this. We want to play together. There's a lot of us here.
No,
and then yes, they do.
Some leftists say we don't want to play with people. Well, you have that game. You can play it right now. You have Battlefront 2.
Yeah, Rob, fucking when my kid was like 5 years old when it came back, and now he's like 9, and he's like, when's the new one?
Oh, well, he's going to be 19 by the time the new Star Wars movie comes out. Who cares?
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to have 9 Avatar sequels before a new Star Wars movie comes out. So what?
I'm not saying that you people who are afraid of the internet shouldn't have your games. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Afraid of the internet. I despise the internet in my video game. That's not the same thing.
No. I mean, there's like nothing wrong with making a game that has a story fucking mode and then has the ability to go and play online. I mean, don't if you don't want to go play online.
What they do.
They
go and say the whole thing is multiplayer, live service, battle pass, blah 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 blah, and it hasn't helped Ubisoft make better games. Look at how far Ubisoft's come since they went full in on that 10 years ago.
It's stupid that Star Wars doesn't have a Destiny. It's stupid. At this point, after all these years, I think it's stupid.
You got Fortnite. You got Star Wars characters in Fortnite. There you go.
Yeah, no, that's
we make do, Rob. We make do.
You literally have an MMO right now, a Star Wars MMO that's full of people. You can go play it right now.
Which one's that?
Galaxy's? The Old Republic.
Oh, fuck that.
See, you don't even remember it. Like, it's there right now. No. It's one of the highest played games on the internet, and you're like, oh, wait, that's out. I don't know.
No, I don't like the old Republic. It's like derivative Star Wars. It's like just derivative design Star Wars for the most part. And the game was okay, and once again, it was a game that you could pretty much play as single player if you want to. But it's like, so what about that one? I want to go and shoot people, with my laser gun. And
Classic American.
But not with my laser gun, not with my real gun. It's my laser guns. So.
Yeah. I just want to stab people with a lightsaber,
that too. Yeah.
Well, that's why they said Jedi Knight 2, where you get the lightsaber. So you're gonna be able to do both.
Yeah.
Shoot people and stab people.
Right. So Azizri says he'll come on tomorrow and share some crazy takes from today on this. All right, cool. Yeah, dude, you're always welcome, man. Anytime. Yeah. And then it says, I've already seen someone say Disney is ruining Star Wars games based on the info somehow. It's like, it still might have an online component too. At the end of the day, they might go, yeah, we could put this online. They just might not be starting there. They probably won't, but And then Baymax likes the comics, and it says the KOTOR comics were grade A Star Wars. So, hey, Mike. And then
we weren't talking about comics, but
okay. No, it's fair. But
just throwing that one out there. Appreciate.
But you brought it up though. You brought it up, and he's like, hey, this connects. I know, but see, it's a whole ecosphere. If you like Star Wars characters in Halo armor, it's the thing for you. But just before we go to the other article,
if you think about it, but
no, it's not. No, well, the big fat guy, yeah, but Mandalorian, looks good in his
he's
armor.
Literally,
he looks good in his armor though. Yeah, I know. Jonesy says, I fear that more and more people will lose interest in Star Wars, which is based on stories from animated productions. Many people who haven't seen Rebels have no idea who the characters are. And so that's what the show has to do, is the show has to reintroduce those characters in a way that makes them compelling and gives them new life. And it's not, and it's going to have a little bit of of a jump start in the sense that it's not like it's just a whole new thing. But if they started a whole new thing with characters just like that, it would have the same hurdle. So
They should just call it Star Wars: A Whole New Thing.
a whole new thing.
Yeah, a whole new thing.
Yeah. But anyways, the whole problem would become if it's like you don't understand why these characters matter because the show never doesn't, just acts like everybody saw it. That would be crazy. I don't think they'll do that though. And like based off of the fact that I think like we're gonna see like that epilogue from Rebels in the show, that I think they filmed it. That makes me think, no, it's cool. You're gonna be, they're all gonna be fine. And Ahsoka was sort of already introduced in Mando, but I don't know what the momentum from that will be, if any. She was in the Luke Skywalker episode everybody saw in
We were talking about this before. They really need to, I think, market Ahsoka differently to how they've marketed The Mandalorian. Like, she's not a familiar face to, like, casual viewers. You know, we all know her, we all love her because we watched her through Clone Wars and Rebels and, you know, Mando, but
yeah,
I don't think they should be as secretive with the marketing on that one. You know, you need to show how cool the series is going to be and why you need to check it out. Like, depending on, you know, if they do announce it, we know Hayden's in it, but if they announce him, I would shove his face in that trailer to get, you know, the casual viewer in. Like, oh, I know him, but
yeah. There's I don't think this is the one to be like, we know you want this. It's over here. See. No, you can't see it. This isn't that one. They might think it is, but it's not.
and fans might, you know, the one thing I always get when I make a comment like this is fans always say, oh, well, we all know what Ahsoka is. Yeah, we do, but fans. Like, we all live in a bubble. We live in a little Star Wars bubble, you know, but...
Yeah, if you went to the grocery store and you said, hey, which character is Ahsoka to just some rando, they probably go, I don't know.
I want to live in a bubble. Know what I'm saying? Just a
Yeah.
little bubble boy. I want to be like a little bubble boy. Just roll around like a hamster. Go all the meetings. I'm a little bubble.
Filoni was really jealous that Michael Jackson had Bubbles the chimp, and he thought he should be able to have one at Lucasfilm. Then they had to show him the video of that woman who got her face eaten off by the chimp, and he wanted it more.
I thought she just, it's not good. It's not good. No, that's bad juju.
Yeah.
No, I also really jealous of all them Sega games. He's got all the Sega games.
And they keep saying, but you know, if we don't get one, who's going to fix Kylo Ren's mask? Is what he keeps saying. Anyways,
I'm gonna write that down. Hold on.
Yeah, right. JJ did.
By the way, Ted Lasso episode 2, really good.
Yeah,
it was very good.
Loved it.
Yeah. You texted me, Bestman texted me and was like, "Oh, that was like the real first episode," and I was like, and I watched it and I was like, "Yeah, that was like really like the first episode of the season." The other one was just like a refresher for people.
Yeah,
this is where it begins. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
My face. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Ted Lasso when he commits suicide at the end of the season, though.
Jason, shut your mouth.
He's going to, man. He's going to watch.
Man,
gonna see.
These Gen X are grunge kids, Bestman. I gotta tell you, every one of them just dark.
Ted Lasso.
So glad
I'm a cusper, bro. Ted Lasso. He takes care of everybody, but who takes care of Ted? Think about it.
He literally has a psychiatrist.
Who wants to go bone a guy? She's like taking the phone call. She's not even listening.
Voted footballers, rugby players. All right.
That scene was like really cringy. I'm all about her getting hers, you know, and all that, but like that scene was so poorly written. Are you coming? I haven't yet. I was like, did I write this on this show? That's what it felt like to me.
Not a bad line, but just talking to her client in the morning and then going there was the problem with that.
It's like Ted's tears get her wet, you know? That's
what it took me to. I was like, all right, guys, you just got to place this joke a little later, you know, like during the football match or something. Like if he had called her right before the football match in episode 2, she's like, I'm busy right now, you know, I don't got time for this, you know, and he's like, I just want to go out and blah, blah, blah. And then she goes back. It's fine. But first thing, I don't know. It's odd.
Yeah.
You know.
Jedi Mike says, "Rest in peace, Ted. Thanks for the mental health awareness pitch." So,
you know, if Ted does kill himself, I'm obviously convinced he's not going to.
Never gonna happen.
You are a genius, Jason. You know, you see the future.
No, I will take that as a compliment already because I think
I've
I'm right.
seen the future and it will be Ted
Well, me and
Lasso
Jason-
dead on the flow.
Me and Jason will
Seen the
things into
future.
existence, you know. And if he wills into existence that Ted kills himself,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be very annoyed with him. You know,
You kids, you Gen Zers and your manifesting, it don't work for shit, right? Like I'm telling you,
Jason, does our manifesting work?
I'm a
No.
cusper. I don't know.
Ask anyone who lives in
Oregon
Ukraine. They
Trail.
can just manifest Russia away. All right, like so you get back to
Or Oregon Trail kid right here, 1883, bitch.
No.
yeah, yeah.
Me and Jason will spend days talking about a certain topic and wanting something to come from it, and then it magically happens. Like
It does. It does. We got the power.
We said-
Yeah. How's poverty working out for you? You just this service paying for themselves still? Like,
Hey, I got it paid for. I re-upped.
so manifest wealth, right? Just
There's
manifest it.
there's a link in all my articles for coffee if you want to help me get out of poverty.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm you know what? I'm just gonna manifest it for you, buddy. How about that? I'm gonna put it out there.
Everybody,
and it'll be
go to
taken
our
care of.
sites and just hit F5 and click the ads. F5, click the ad. F5, click the ad. Okay, just do that all day.
Yeah, I'll manifest people doing that, Jason. I'm not gonna do it myself, but I'll put it out in the world. It'll come.
So,
and Chris, because me and Jason are too broke to do it, can you send Jeff Snyder some super chats later?
yeah,
For us,
Rob,
please?
1 p.m. They're on today at 1 p.m.
1
So
p.m.
apparently there's gonna be a lot of Marvel stuff. I don't think it's gonna be much Star Wars, but they're doing that today at 1 p.m.
I mean, he might, maybe he'll have some insight into the, what was going on there with Lindelof's stuff. Maybe there'll be something more, But it's breezy if you decide to go give him a super chat and try to ask a question. Just ask, what's up with Star Wars? Don't say, hey, are they going to have white robes? Because he won't know. But if you ask him just what's up with Star Wars, he might just tell you what he knows. What's up with Star Wars?
I'm gonna create a YouTube account today. Definitely not Spreezy, and then ask them about Star Wars.
just leave $1 super chats going, is this good enough for you? Is this enough? Is this enough? Oh, maybe next week you'll read this one.
It's best not to antagonize John Roca. He doesn't deal well with that.
Well,
Or Snyder. Snyder doesn't deal well with being antagonized either.
Oh, come on.
I think he likes it. Like me, he feeds off.
Come on,
We're very
Snyder.
similar. Like we enjoy it. Like
if you guys want to pay me and antagonize me all day, just pay me. That's fine.
Same.
Jason, you looking to get married again? Is that what you're trying to do? Like,
married to Star Wars fans' money, yeah.
Victoria Alonso, you never know.
Or maybe Genevieve O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
Oh, that leaves bits for me. I'm happy with that.
I'm a polygamist. Sorry, I didn't. I wasn't clear enough on that. Yeah, you ever seen Big Love? You ever seen Big Love? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I want to put him in some of those plain ass dresses and get him out in a mobile home in the middle of nowhere. That's all I need.
Your hole, buddy.
That's actually it's enough holes for me. Rumor Genevieve O'Reilly's Mon Mothma.
No, for some reason I also had a picture of like this whole polygonal family going for mini golf and a lot of holes jokes being made for 18. Like I don't know why. I don't know. That's how my mind works. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs.
So rumor Genevieve O'Reilly's Mon Mothma returns in Star Wars, Mandalorian 3, Ahsoka, and Andor 2. The Andor 2, obviously, I'm not trying to take credit for, just trying to say there's going to be a lot of stuff.
I'll let you finish reading this and then I'll...
Okay. If you have been watching the Making Star Wars show over the last year, you've caught a few hints that Genevieve O'Reilly's Mon Mothma has been a part of the SoCal Star Wars productions in the last year. I fixed this. I'm reading the old version, whatever. It should be noted that Andor is a UK Star Wars production. However, which productions the character has been a part of were up for debate on my show until today. I also fixed that line, but whatever. With Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew having filmed concurrently, it was difficult to figure out which production she was on. Star Wars Andor has told us the tale of Mon Mothma as a woman who has put everything on the line for liberty. Mon Mothma lives a double life, one of the wife of a pampered idiot, Perrin, and the mother of a spoiled religious zealot, Lydia, is it Lydia? Lydia? I don't remember. Lydia. Who wishes to be married off yesterday, and the other life as the leader of a secret rebellion. But that's another tale. The Mothma from the Mandalorian 3 and Ahsoka has destroyed Palpatine's empire and lives a prosperous existence, right? She's finally cracking open the vintage case of Zima with Perrin, right? Nope. That was for you. That's for you, Rob. Perrin. Zima.
Vintage.
Zima with Perrin.
It doesn't age.
It doesn't. The Mandalorian chapter 19, the convert, paints the picture of a new republic barely getting by. The war against the Empire wasn't a class war. The same elites who ruled the Republic, the Empire, and now the New Republic are still on Coruscant, being as parasitic as ever. New boss, same as the old boss. My sources are saying Mon Mothma will appear in Star Wars Mandalorian's third season, of which there are only 4 episodes left. Yesterday, I dropped info on a director attached to Star Wars Ahsoka and how the first season is essentially a 2-part epic. The rumor is that the first part of the story has New Republic-centric content. Perhaps story beats assimilated from Rangers of the New Republic. And that content will feature Mon Mothma herself. This is informed conjecture on my part, but the impression I have of the early half of Ahsoka is a story about a failing New Republic. The galaxy is exhausted from years of war, and I assume Ahsoka's call for help or warnings fall on deaf ears. Meaningful power is out of Mon Mothma's hands by her design to some extent. I didn't want to get into that whole, act thing again, but that's what I'm inferring. As she tries to make sure another emperor never rises with strong military might. The problem is Night Sister Morgan Elsbeth's nefarious plan is well underway. More on that soon. And it seems like the New Republic cannot respond as it tries to contend with the governing the galaxy where piracy is out of control. That's out in the Outer Rim. This will, of course, culminate in the return of Thrawn, and there will be the blue fires of hell to pay, which I wrote for you as well, Rob. I don't know why. If you love Genevieve O'Reilly's Mon Mothma as much as I do, I think this is going to be a huge time for the actor and the character. O'Reilly was a highlight in Star Wars Andor's first season, and we're going to show her in The Mandalorian very soon and in Star Wars Ahsoka. Andor's second season is currently filming. So
we are definitely going to see the difference between Favreau's and Gilroy's writing. Like
that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I got to tell you, man, I don't want to pick on the director of photography, but this whole like digital zoom thing he's really picked up this season's got to stop. This like it just really just makes things look super cheap. I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. I know people go, "Hey, Rob, you're nitpicking." I'm like, that's someone said, "Well, Rob, isn't this like you just looking at the way like a creative does?" I'm like, creatives make these shows. This is what they do. Like they obsess over endless 30-second clips. Like
the question I have when it comes to filmmaking of that type, of the Disney plus caliber, when we see that digital zoom, is that the editor creating a shot that wasn't picked up, or does the director not do the zoom knowing that they just have a wide shot and that they could digital zoom it and have the choice in editing?
That's done in camera. That's not done in post. The zoom is in the camera. Yeah, I asked my buddy about that, who is a DP, and he said no, that's done in camera. So that's Dean Cooley or whatever. I can't remember his name.
Cundy.
There's a D and a C in there.
Dean Cundy. Come on, man. He's a legend. Sorry. The Cundy, dude.
I'm horrible with names.
He was in the third episode. You know
what we call him? We call him the Kundalingus. That's what we call him.
Hey man, he did Clerks. I have no complaints about the guy. He didn't do any digital zooms in Clerks, so stop it.
Oh wait, Clerks 3?
No, he did Clerks, man, from the beginning, right?
Wait, Dean Cundy did Clerks.
Let me go look. Yeah,
guys did Indiana Jones. Smith. I did Indiana Jones.
Oh no, wrong.
You're talking about David Klein.
Oh, this is the Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park guy. There's no fucking excuse now, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
like this motherfucker. Like now, I thought he was a Clerks guy, going, well, maybe he's learning the tricks and he's picking up little. This is the dude who shot Jurassic Park. Stop with the zooms, Cundy. Like, stop it, you mother. Like, stop it, because there's so much great visual shots, in Boba Fett season 3. I'm not going to complain about the look of a lot of it, but them digital zoom shots is nothing, man. It's just like, what it reminds me of? There's a brilliant colorist by the name of Lynn Varley, and she painted The Dark Knight Returns, right? Comic book back in the day. And eventually Frank Miller did, they married, they were a couple for a while, and he did a book called The Dark Knight Strikes Back, and she decided to use computers to color it, and it was like a traditional player who'd never used Photoshop before just went batshit crazy, and it's unfucking watchable. Like you just look at it, you're like, even people to this day are open like, what? How do you even arrive at some of this? Like it almost looks like when you see the world through an LSD flashback. Like I don't know how to describe it. You know,
sounds badass to me.
It's not like that, but you can see like, what are you doing? What are you doing with this digital zoom? I don't know. You know, it's not good, man.
Yeah. Chris Breezy says I'm done with that shit. Breezy.
Why, Chris? You know, he answered you last week.
Jason, he said after Spreezy said after he gave them $100 that he was never going to give them the money again, and 2 weeks later he gave them 10 more bucks. Like I watched it happen live. He can't help himself, Jason. He can't help himself. It's like gambling, right? You're just like, just one more. Maybe this will be the one. Yeah.
Santa said, just finished my show and grabbed some lunch, like today's show. Oh, I didn't know you were doing a show today. I didn't know. I wouldn't have gone live when you were live, man. You know, we're like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. We try not to release records at the same time. But anyways, yeah. So check out Santa's show if you haven't seen it yet. And what are you eating for? What are you having for lunch, Santa? What are you eating? You got any for us?
Hoe cakes.
Cookie? Is it cookies and milk? Is it Christmas cookies and milk? It's Christmas cookies and milk. And
I like to think Santa just buys one of those big giant cookie pies from like, you know, the Albertsons, right?
Yeah.
Divvies it up, you know.
Baymax says manifest Spreezy sending $300 to Snyder. No, I think I'm thinking 150 to me and 150 to Bestman.
So we're on the same
179p, like 179p.
179p. But yeah. All right. So this is something else that I wanted to just because I don't know if this is accurate, but this is from Star Wars Time, and if it is accurate, it's interesting because I think it kind of informs like some of the stuff that we have reported on in the last like year. This is from StarWarsTime.net. Exclusive: the Armorer will get new gear during a major The Mandalorian Season 3 moment by Matt Haywood. The Mandalorian's the Armorer has been one of the more mysterious and intriguing characters to follow in this series because of her stoicism and because fans know nothing about her outside of the fact that she's detached. She's the detached leader of the Children of the Watch. Her name hasn't even been revealed, let alone her past, but it's clear that in Season 3, she's becoming much more of a featured character, which will hopefully means fans will start to learn more about her past and why she is the way she is. Luckily, we've heard from a reliable contact some information about the Armorer in The Mandalorian Season 3. And while it's nothing galaxy-shattering, it still adds a bit of full towards what may happen towards the end of the season for the character and Mandalorians in general. And then spoilers will be present. The Armorer's new clothes. According to one of our contacts, the Armorer will be given her jetpack and her blasters at some sort of big ceremony involving various Mandalorians. The ceremony has been described as celebratory and will feature cheering foundlings all lined up for the special event. It's not made clear who gives her these items or why this ceremony is taking place, though. But if you read the old lead from Making Star Wars, this could very well be taking place where he has described the purification ceremony for Mandalorians. It's up to you if you want to read the rest of the report because it details our other potential season finale moments. But in reading his reports and comparing it with the information we recently received, I'm going to speculate that the Armorer gets her jetpack and blasters during this ceremony. The ceremony is more than likely one of the final steps that feature the Mandalorian clans and will take to reunite as a people once and for all. Nick and I will talk more about the Armorer exclusive on this next week's episode of Star Wars Time. So don't forget to tune into the Star Wars Time show on a weekly basis via our podcast platform. So if you haven't heard Star Wars Time, you could subscribe to them there. This was by Matt Haywood. How's it going, Matt? So yeah, so if that does pan out. Which by the way, I'm not saying it does or doesn't, because I just never heard anything about her or never really asked too much about her. I wasn't too interested in her like early on. I'm more interested in her now after seeing the season. But I heard that she's going to get, Bo-Katan's going to get Mythosaur armor, and we kind of saw that begin last episode. And Santa was like, "Are we going to get more?" And I'm like, "I think we are going to get more, but kind of does check the box of you're getting Mythosaur armor just by getting that one piece." But I'm pretty sure that piece is like silver, and it's not, it's not the same as the other stuff. So I have a feeling it's going to be more silver maybe in the end. But as it goes on, we know everybody's getting new armor stuff this season. So it kind of makes sense that she would maybe she will get something
into Grogu's robes. Just shove that armor in there. Just...
that big old plate of Beskar he has on his tummy. Like I said, it reminds me of Marty McFly in Back to the Future Part 3 when he does the Clint Eastwood moment where he gets shot in the oven.
Guess who shot Back to the Future 3?
Dean Cundy. The
Dean
Cundilingus. The Cundilingus did it. So
you did that. I didn't do that.
Uh-huh. That was all me, man. That's what they call him. I didn't make that up.
Please, dear God, stop with the digital zooms. Stop.
Digital zoom. Dean Cundy and the digital zoom. But yeah. So, anyways, it'd be cool. I mean, I'm always up for more redesigns of the characters, and I would say, like, based off of his report though, is we saw her fight with those hammers in the beginning, so she can fight with them. So there is that. But we also saw her like giving hammers to people and shit in that cut scene, or that's not the cut scene, but the scene that hasn't happened yet. She's like handing hammers out to people and shit. And so maybe they make it for her, or maybe she just needs the stuff for the final battle against Moff Gideon in the last episode. Maybe.
Well, given how these Mandos have dealt with gators and chicken nuggies, I don't know how well they're gonna do against Moff Gideon. Like, they just stand there and get picked off left and right. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So this is from BestmanBulletin.com. I think this is our final story. Star Wars Andor filming at the City of Arts and Science, Valencia. Benjamin Bratt in the series. And look,
Quake logo.
It's the Brat logo. Beat on the Brat. Beat on the Brat. Don't beat on the Brat.
The Brat Pack.
So here we go. You could also give Bestman a coffee if you read the site. Like I always say. In early February, it was reported by both Las Provincias and Perdidos and Hoth that the second season of Andor was gearing up to film scenes in the city of Valencia, located in Spain. At the time, there was little to no details about the shoot, but fans began speculating that the Rogue One spinoff would film at the City of Art and Science purely based on its futuristic design. However, today it's been revealed, thanks to various set pictures, that Andor Season 2 is currently filming at Valencia's City of Arts and Science.
What's annoying about this one is, like, days before this happened,
yeah,
I was telling Jason that I knew exactly where it was filming and I was going to write it as an exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And that Benjamin Bratt was seen with various members of production. And then this all happened. I was like, oh, great.
Gotta get on it, man. Can't sit on it.
Looks like a prototype mold for the PlayStation 6 to me. You always see those like prototypes when like the new Nintendo could be a giant star, and you're like, well, all right, I don't know where you came up with that. But,
the part on the
looks like a giant helmet to me.
Yeah, it looks like a giant helmet. Or like you go to your friend's house and he's like, want to play Halo? I got a new router. And you're like, what? It looks like one of those really bad fucking stupid designs for something that shouldn't exist. The City of Arts and Science has previously been used by Disney for their 2015 film Tomorrowland, which was written by failed Star Wars writer Damon Lindelof. I'm kidding. Who recently exited the Star Wars movie he was developing for Lucasfilm. The location has also been used for the HBO series Westworld, Peacock's Brave New World, which starred Star Wars alumni Alden Ehrenreich and Bill and Ted Face the Music. Oh shit! It's the future. And then right here we could see some of the cast. which we talked about like briefly this photo like the other day. It's like
it's the upper echelon of class in this galaxy.
yeah, yeah. It's like it's probably going to be Mon Mothma's home planet of Shalendria or whatever.
Chandrilla.
Yeah, Chandrilla is that's Willow, and not Naboo, but same o if you ask me.
They are filming at a different part of Valencia as well. It's not just this.
Yeah. This is fancy people like actually at a fancy place. So are we thinking that it's not the airport this time since all these fancy people are here? I mean, fancy people do fly, but
Yeah, I kind of speculated that it was Chandrilla based off of how it used to look in the
This motherfucker in the back is wearing like a bow tie, like on almost kind of looking thing, like with like a green
thing.
It's a
Bo-Katan tie.
Oh, a Bo-Katan tie.
Bo-Katan, yeah. Comes with the tramp stamp.
It's the
removable.
It's the Chandrilla Royal Ballet or something, right? Or maybe this is like we were speculating. Maybe
the
this
Lord
is where,
of the Space Dance. It's where the Lord of this they do the clogging, right?
Yeah, maybe this is where that brat gets married when she's like.
Yeah,
16.
I think it might be that. Yeah,
Missouri.
Details on the shoot are still fairly sparse on my end, but the production is expected to be in Valencia for around 2 months, with the production venturing into the Spanish city earlier this week. I don't know what the location is being used for in the Star Wars universe, but there's been whispers of Chandrilla, the home of Genevieve O'Reilly's Mon Mothma, appearing in Andor's second season. Though I've heard nothing of substance, it's fun to speculate on, and the location does bear a resemblance to Chandrilla. And given how high class the extras look at the Valencia shoot, it's quite possible that it's for the upper echelon of Chandrian citizens, or perhaps even attendees to the wedding of Mon Mothma's child, Lyda, and the son of Davos Skolden, which was teased at the end of Andor's first season. However, the more likely option is that the location could be doubling for a part of Coruscant we've yet to see on screen. This is the Galactic Senate, Chandrilla. In addition to filming beginning in Valencia, various people have spotted actor Benjamin Bratt alongside Andor production members, including one of the series directors, Janice Metz, in the area. The website Levante also posted an image of Bratt and Metz posing for a group photo. Perhaps it's merely a coincidence that Bratt has been hanging around Andor production members. Or
he follows them like groupies.
Hey, I like the show. I'm going to follow you guys.
He just follows us from production to production.
Buggy Man's like, get the fuck out of here, Benjamin Bratt. Get the fuck out.
Brat Pack in the house.
What do you think you are, Bestman Bulletin? Get the fuck out of here. Or maybe we can expect to see the actor in the critically acclaimed series. Bratt recently starred in the hit Peacock series Poker Face, which was created by Star Wars: The Last Jedi's Rian Johnson, and starred in popular films from the
it's the naughties,
such as Traffic, Miss Congeniality, and the infamous Catwoman.
I love Catwoman. Oh my god, I love the naughties.
Yeah, look right here. We got look. He's like, I'm the brat. And,
no, Jason, I can tell you how this all worked out. They just manifested him. Every time they go somewhere, we just think Benjamin Bratt should be here. He just
Tim and Eric, right there.
Yeah,
there he is. See him? See him? Look at him.
Look at that walkie-talkie. Look at it. It's all big on his belt.
It's like ET but sexier. Earlier this week, it was reported by Levante that Andor would be filming at the Castel de how do you say that? Estave?
Dare you to say it, Jason? Like, come on.
Well, how do you say it? Shatavia? Shatavia?
No, it's pronounced Felix.
What?
Shativa.
Shativa?
Jativa. Castel de Jativa. I don't know. It's got the umlaut over the A. I'm unfamiliar with that.
Beats me. A fortress, but that's why it's still there, because nobody can say it. They're like, we could attack that one, but we don't know how to say it, so we'll just attack the other one. a fortress with deep and rich history, which dates back to the Roman and Iberian times. In the report is revealed that visitors will not be allowed to access the location from the 2nd of April until the 17th, meaning Andor will likely film at the location during that time frame.
Until the 7th, not 17th, but yeah.
It's the 7th? Oh, the 7th.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so right here,
that's vastly different to the other location that that they're using in Valencia.
yeah,
It's Lando's funeral. That's where they're gonna have Lando's funeral, or sorry, Han Solo's funeral, right?
Han Solo's funeral in episode.
That's where they shot.
8.
Remember when they were shooting at the Game of Thrones shit during the Last Jedi, and everyone was like, "It's gonna be Han Solo's funeral," and it was nothing. It was nothing. So hard to say.
Do you think they'll use like the exteriors here or just the interiors? Because this is, too relatable to the real world.
I mean,
yeah, but they have set extensions. I mean, like when they shot at those buildings that are going to be on Coruscant.
Think of Dubrovnik too, for episode 8. Like a lot of really well-known places were there, and I don't know how much leeway they would have with decorating this place, but I mean it's like a bunch of walls and outside, so there's really a lot that they could do here. It's kind of a hard read without knowing what they're doing.
I'm more impressed with them shooting here than El Segundo. Just letting you know.
Agree to disagree. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, for Jason's clicks, right? You capitalist.
No. I mean, I could see that. I don't even care about the clicks. I just care about seeing it. Yeah. Andor is expected to wrap filming in August ahead of a release inside the latter half of 2024. The second season of Andor will also be its final, and the series is expected to have a presence at this year's Star Wars Celebration, which takes place at the Excel Center in London and kicks off on April 7th. Thank you for reading the article. Give him coffee. So, yeah, it looks pretty cool though. I do like this location.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited, man. Some fans of ours. That's what they say they are fans. But who knows? They're like, me even like Star Wars. I'm like, you realize that my favorite thing, I don't mean Star Wars, my favorite thing in the last 4 or 5 years, has been like Andor. Like Andor, Avatar, Stranger Things. I like all this shit, man. I just like Star Wars when it's not like, oh man, they stole another one of our kids. Let's get back to him tomorrow. And he's my son. So tomorrow you can just sit in the belly. You can sit in that belly for a day or two. I just you know what I mean? Just a little, like, come on. You don't need, you can streamline it a little bit. Like, you don't have to go dumb. So this looks cool, man. I'm all for this.
Yeah, I'm about it too. So it's a I mean, like this could be so many different things, and it's just
could be
hard read.
What's his face? Saul Guerrera's hideout or wrecked. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, this could be a walk away, and there could be a digital castle put on the top of this, and it's her new house now that she's married to Skolden, or Skolden's mansion or something. Like, yeah, it's a lot of possibilities.
What Luthen?
This might not even be Chandrilla
house,
right?
It could be Luthen's, sex pad, right? This is where yeah, he takes all the recruits down there, and they,
like a casting couch.
Look, I didn't want to say it, I didn't want to say it.
All right, Baymax, I told Chris what you said. So, all right. So, anyways, I think we
so
did
you told
it,
Chris he was a bitch.
Oh, really? Oh, all right. Should I break the news to him? They canceled the white robes. The white robes are out of all Star Wars now. They're all black robes, like Hogwarts, like at Hogwarts. So anyway, Hogwarts.
Poggers.
Yeah. But all right. Well, I think we did it. We had a lot of news today.
It's an hour 39, Jason.
We did a lot.
I should have quit 39 minutes ago.
Chris says, "Fuck you all."
Yeah. All right. See you on the hot mic in an hour.
Hey, make sure you save some money for drinks tonight, dude. Don't drop all those dollar bills over on the hot mic. But yeah, thanks everyone for being a channel member. Thanks Bestman Bulletin for hanging out with us and bringing all the stories today. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Bestman.
Yeah. And
But to be fair, I manifested you bringing us stories yesterday, so you didn't really have any say in it. I did that.
Better late than never, Rob. You know, like I still came in many ways, but I still came.
That's what she said.
I beat you to it.
Fair enough.
Yep.
But all right, everyone, we'll see everybody tomorrow, probably at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you know, depending on what the news is. If it's a normal day, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll do it normal times then. And thanks everybody for being a channel member, liking the video, supporting the show, and all that stuff. It does help. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye, guys.
My baby, I'm 50 years old.